Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it. It's been very educational for me to sit in on this committee and do appreciate it. And I know you've got to be getting tired. It's been a long morning. That being said, I do have some concerns, a little bit different than some of the others. I learned a lot about the West today. I have concerns because I represent Southwest Virginia and the Allegheny Highlands of that area. I represent 22 counties. I have 17 counties: Allegheny, Bland, Carroll, Craig, Dickinson, Giles, Grayson, Lee, Montgomery, Pulaski, Roanoke, Scott, Smith, Tazewell, Washington, Wise, and Wythe, that all have National Forest lands in them and who are now being requested to have money taken back from the SRS program. And while we're not looking for a handout, I do think there was a deal made. And I don't know about the western lands, but certainly the eastern lands, there was a deal made that they would share in the benefits of preserving our forests. And that means that they've got to have the ability to have some reasonable timbering. When I hear of industries in the area that say that they can find the wood products they need, but they're going further and further out, and that raises the cost of their product, which then makes their product less competitive, not only in the national market, but in the international market, that raises concerns for me. I'm also concerned about the schools in the area, because some of my counties are very small in population. They might have a lot of trees, but they don't have a lot of people. And as a result of that, when you all ask as a part of the cutbacks that every agency is having to look at, that you take that money out of the schools of a rural county with 4,000 people, that's a serious blow. And one of the letters that I have signed on to has requested that you all give us some legal authority for that. I hope you'll respond to that at another time. But I do hope you recognize these are not just Western issues. A lot of these issues are also in the East. And it is difficult when you hear folks say, because my district also has a section of it that's had its industry based on mining of coal, and then you hear folks say, well, you've got to transition to something else. Well, we can't use our forests and we can't use our minerals. You know, what are we going to transition to? And as a result of those kinds of attitudes, and it's mostly coal, I don't want to say it's the Forest Service, but Dickinson County that I mentioned before, over the last 30 years, their school-age population has dropped by 2/3. We're depopulating in 8 of my counties. This is not a good thing. Our communities are suffering, and you all can help. And then I would say that in listening, I heard you say, and I appreciate the comments of folks that I respect to say that you're trying to solve the problems, and I do appreciate that. But I also heard, you say that there were that you all were trying, and that you were working with the communities and so forth. But a lot of my folks, while they have some good people that they're working with, there are a lot of roads being closed down that they're used to hunting. And remember, I said there was this deal that was made initially. Well, it may not be true for most of the country, but my people remember, because their granddaddy took their daddy, who took them hunting on the lands that they now can't get to because they're closing down roads. Now, my folks aren't saying, look, we don't recognize you all have a money problem. But one of the things you may want to look at is the fact that I've had people who've told me they'll be glad to go out and grade the road if you don't think it's graded right, or if you all don't think it's proper. And I know you got some liability issues. They'd sign waivers. These are good old-fashioned Eastern Mountain people. They'll get the job done. You give them the ability to do it, they'll go out there and make sure that road's open for hunting. I guarantee it. So see if you can work on a program for that to help us as well. And then I would have to say to you, I'm very, very concerned that these communities that need the money from, whether it's from the current program or the historic program, doesn't matter. But if we're going to have a county that's maybe 50 or 60% national forest lands, we can't just say, hey, we're taking that money back that we gave you already, and we're not going to help you support your schools. So I hope you'll keep all that in mind as you go forward. And I appreciate the fact that committee chairman let me be here today, and I yield back.
I thank the gentleman for participating, and I thank him for his questions. Chief Tidwell.